life is in seasons, and we go through certain seasons based on how much we learn, you know.
Welcome back to another episode of the True Growth podcast. I'm Latina Mata, and today is another episode of the series Mom Overcoming Mountains. And today I have a special, lovely person who's very dear to me called Melissa, and we are going to have a wonderful chat. We're going to talk about some challenges that she overcame and how she overcame them, as well as how she balances all the things that she does on a daily basis. Of course, the intention of this podcast is to highlight moms who've had to go through these challenges and how they navigated that space, and of course, be a place of inspiration and safety for you to do the same. All right, so Mel, I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
I am a crafter, DIYer, yes, about a whole bunch of stuff.
And a very lovely friend to me for quite some time. Okay. So Mel, I want you to share with us and let us know about a time that was extremely challenging while being a mom, and bring us into your life a little in terms of what that time period was.
Okay, so we're not crying, and we're not doing it.
No, we're not doing it. Well, we could. You know what? Yeah, this is a safe space. We're not going to cry. I'm right here with you.
Okay, so challenging, one of the most challenging experiences I've ever had was when my husband passed away about 11 years ago. It's a while now, but I think it's still a little fresh for me. He passed away from cancer, and the transition from being a parent with two people co-parenting to going into one person, just the journey alone, the cancer journey alone. The running up in the hospital, the thinking, okay, everything's gonna be okay, and then it's not okay. That itself was challenging. I've never dealt with anybody firsthand having cancer.
Wow.
He died in my hands. He died in our room. He died in my hands, and to me, everything after that was a blur. I went through the grieving process, but I got married at 20, 21 around there.
I took Sandy good vibes, man.
Right, so I got married early.
Right.
So going into marriage at a young age, you're learning. It's a learning process. We're learning together. We're the same age, and we're learning together.
Right.
And then having children, and I'm doing everything early.
Right.
I would say that when he passed, I felt like, oh my God, I'm all alone now. Even though I had a support group, I had a support system, I felt like I was lost. Because everything now I had to do on my own. And he was the type of husband that if there was something that you needed, he'd jump in to do it. Something needs to be done, don't worry, I'll get it done. Everything will be fine. So it was a real transition for me. It was a transition getting the girls. I had young girls at the time. I had a 6-year-old.
Wow.
And I had a 14-year-old. So at that time, we were just trying to balance everything to make sure that they were okay. While I was trying to make sure they were okay, I was not okay.
Yeah.
So I went through the grieving process, and then it went from grieving to depression to anxiety. There were days when I wouldn't want to come out of the house. There were days I didn't want to come out the room itself. I kept feeling, okay, if I call him back, he'd probably come back. It was a real rough time.
Of course.
It was really, really rough.
And I appreciate you sharing that with us. I see you.
Yeah.
I love you extra for being so brave. So how did you navigate that? Like, what was the moment that you decided, what, I can't be in this space anymore?
I had a good support system. My brother-in-law especially, he made a commitment to my husband that he was not going to let us go.
Wow. That was real.
So he would come and make the effort for me to come out of the house. He would, he would pray. I have my belief system as well.
Yeah.
And really, really love the Lord. with all of my heart. You
Wow.
know, I love him a lot, and I've seen him bring me through the depression, the anxiety, that anxious feeling when bills would be coming and stuff like that. And I saw him, you know, bring me through it. And I know people, you know, people who struggle with depression and anxiety, they say, well, okay, how you got through it? I actually got through, I shouldn't say I, the Lord brought me through that by praying for somebody else that was sick.
Wow.
So I'm there, she's a family member, and I'm praying for her to be okay. She was in the ICU and everything, and so I'm praying for her to be okay. And while I'm praying, I'm so much in praying that she does not die, that nothing happens to her. I'm not realizing that I'm being healed in the process.
So you're praying for somebody else's healing.
Yes.
And you're also being
healed at the same time. And I remember waking up one morning. I cannot tell you exactly the process between the days that I was praying, but I can't tell you when it happened. But I know one morning I woke up and my entire room was bright. Like bright. When I tell you bright, I was like, wait, I got up and I was like, why is this room so bright? I didn't change the curtains. I didn't change the lights. Why is it so bright? Woke up feeling like, wait, okay, all right. But I had no time to really dwell on it because, of course, I'm praying for my, you know, this family member to be okay. And we're running to the hospital every minute. We're there, you know, outside praying for and that kind of thing. And probably it didn't hit me until probably a few weeks after, you know, realizing, wait, I'm not feeling the same way I was feeling before. Like, I'm not feeling the heaviness I literally used to feel when depression would come on. Because it's like this spiraling kind of feeling that takes you all the way down, and like you feel like you're going down a rabbit hole and you're trying to stop, but you can't. And then when you get there, nothing else matters. I remember people used to say, "Oh, Mel, you have to live for your children, and you have so much to live for." And I just couldn't. I don't know. It just was hard, you know. But that's how it worked to me. I don't know. Like people say, well, you know, Mel, what you give up on what you could do to get over it. But I only know what the Lord has done. Yeah, for me, you know.
I think you sharing that like really spoke to me in a different way. While you were praying for somebody else's healing, you got healed. That is a word, man. I think that is the answer. So if you have to share, what was your biggest lesson through that entire period? What did you learn?
My biggest lesson was to trust God. Yeah, that was the biggest lesson because I really didn't know how the future would be for us, and I felt alone. I'm an only child, but I really never felt alone the way I felt not having my husband, you know, having all of this. And so the lesson is, you know, taking each step at a time. And then to do that as well.
Yeah.
I couldn't see what tomorrow would be. I know what's going on today. I will deal with today, and then the next day I will deal with the next day, and just, you know, immersion myself in the Lord. I know people, when they hear this, oh gosh, you know, but I loved him more because I don't think I would have been here.
That's all weird.
Yeah. The thoughts, I don't think I would have been here.
Wow.
Doing this, seeing here, being here.
And I'm so happy that you are here. I'm so happy, guys. Like, let me tell you, I met Mel some years ago, and she's like a light. She's like another mommy, and she just has this beautiful soul that always makes me feel so safe and so loved. And I'm so happy that you're here, Mel. Okay. So we're going to get into some easier questions, right?
Thank you.
Are you introvert or extrovert?
I used to be an extrovert. I think now I am an introvert.
Right. Okay. It makes sense of that. Yeah. Mashed potato or pasta?
Pasta.
Really? What kind?
I like Alfredo. I like Alfredo.
Chicken, shrimp? Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Very good. Do you prefer your kids small, or you prefer them at the age that in? So you prefer them at newborn, toddler stage, or was there a particular period that was your favorite, or you prefer them right now at their current age? Which remind us how old they are.
Well, one is going to turn 21 this year, and the other one is turning 20.
Just as you got your goals, nobody would look at you and think that you have a 21-year-old and 26-year-old. Okay. Mm-hmm. Which part of the development you prefer?
I actually like this part,
Really?
I love the part when they were small to have
Of
fun and
course.
stuff. I like this part because we get to chat, we get to interact with each other. I drive them crazy, yes, I do. I'm an old school parent, but I love them deeply. We've been through a lot as a family, so I really enjoyed it at this age.
What advice do you have for any moms who, probably going through dealing with depression, dealing with anxiety, having a hard time navigating, maybe they're going through a similar situation or something different? Like, what would you tell them in terms of, getting through overcoming those mountains that they do with?
I think what I would say is everything is a season. Life is in seasons, and we go through certain seasons based on how much we learn, and it will get better if you keep at it. It will get better. We always think it's not going to be okay. It's not going to be better, but it will get better. Going to say it, having that relationship with God. Sometimes He's the only person. Even when the support group has gone and everybody's gone home and you're left with your thoughts, you're left with you alone, crying out to Him, seeking Him out, asking Him to come and be there. He's not going to let you.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. This is me just letting you guys know that if anybody going through a similar situation, or you just feel like, you're in the pits, like, let's use this as the nudge, right? Like, let's use this as the opportunity for us to actually, recommit to our relationship or intimacy with God. Because, what you managed to get through the mountains that you overcame, like, that was not by yourself. That was not your strength. Okay? So another thing is, share with us one lesson that you learned from any of your, so you have two daughters, right? Just daughters. One lesson that you learned from either of them.
Oh my gosh.
And they're older now, so I know you have a lot to choose from.
Once again, seasons. Because we've been through all the seasons, the adolescent, and we're still going through seasons. I think, as I said before, I drive them crazy because of the different age group and, the different way that I've been brought up. But I would say to just love, be patient with them. When you lose your patience, then, it's time to kind of walk away for a little while. And kind of regroup. And then ask the Lord to help you.
Right, so that's all we need, right? We need Jesus to deal with our kids, right? So you're a DIY expert, right? Doing design. I've been seeing you doing big things in these big corporate spaces with designs and just pillows. And I still have my DIY. What is that? What you did?
Wall design.
Yes, the wall design. And you're also a teacher. And then you're also running your own business, being a teacher, right? How do you juggle all of that?
Schedule.
There seems to be a running theme, right?
Schedule.
I heard patience. Yeah. And I'm hearing schedule,
Yes, scheduling every single thing. I have 3 different things that I do. So I do the scheduling with the teaching. I do scheduling with the 2 businesses, which I just recently split into half. So one is design and one is the handmade things.
Right, I did see that.
Yeah, so I like to write a lot.
Yeah.
Old school again. I like to write a lot. So
good.
So I like to write. So I write everything out. I group everything down. And then once I group it down, and I write down all the different things that I need to do. What I used to do previously is, when you don't finish something and you're like, oh my God, I should have finished this. Why I didn't finish this? And then you push yourself down to the limit and then your body gets run down. I stopped doing that.
Right.
I started doing the list and taking everything off, and then whatever doesn't get done moves over to the next day.
Right.
Do the next day, and so we go.
So because you are older kids, I'll consider you an expert in this parenting thing, right? Were you always like that in terms of organization, prioritizing, schedule?
No.
Okay, so that gives us grace. I have the opportunity to learn and grow, and the mummies listening.
Yes.
The younger mummies, we have the opportunity. Okay.
Oh, yes. I was like that. hot mess. Everything all over, not being able. You see, because as I said before, everything is a season. So when you're going through with the younger ones,
Yeah.
I remember I wasn't doing all of this when
Right.
my husband passed, and then I had to go in. I wasn't doing all of the run here, run there, doing creative stuff and stuff like that. I was doing it in school, yes, art and craft and stuff. Been doing this for a while, but I wasn't really running a business. I was just teaching,
Right.
and so it's now branching off and when I branched off into that season of having my own business and stuff, my older one was already in secondary school.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just need to share, right, that by you sharing this, and I really appreciate that you have older kids, right? It really gives me some type of grace and self-compassion. So I hope you guys are receiving that as well. Because, as moms, especially if you have young kids, we're in this place where, we're not doing enough. We need to do more. We have to set it up now. I have to get this business on the ground now. I need to be making this amount of money now. And there's just this urgency and this numbness because we want the best, right? And I appreciate you sharing the story and sharing your journey. And now you're still teaching, you're running multiple businesses, and you're just in a space where you're able to balance. But you gave me a lot of grace, or you shared, that I get to give myself a lot of grace because I need to be presently now, acknowledge the season that I'm in, and trust God and acknowledge that the things that I do want to accomplish, I would have the time to.
Yeah, I think I hear it when young parents, young mothers or young people in general, I think they feel that everything is running away.
Because they make us think like that.
Yeah, and they feel like, okay, I need to do this now, I need to do that. Who says that you need to do this now, need to do that now, that you need to finish this now? Yes, okay, I understand that you have to pay your bills, I understand that you have responsibilities, but enjoying life is also part of it, and if I had known that before, sometimes you wish you know those things before you go through certain experiences, and then you realize, okay, that's the reason why this happened.
Right.
I just need to rest, and just do what I need to do. You're gonna be just fine, and you will make mistakes.
Yeah.
In parenting. You will, because they don't come. Little people do not come with a hand.
Where is Emmanuel? I'm still trying to figure it out with this little one that I have, and they evolve and they're always changing. They're so dynamic. If you do not have an open mind to do this, bless the Lord, right?
Yeah.
So this will bring me to one of my last questions. What does your self-care look like now? Because I know, right? So I'll just share. My mom, she's not one. Right? She's like, I am about me right now when I've committed my life to you. So she's very heavy on her self-care. Of course, she still works, but she prioritizes her self-care. So what does your self-care look like now?
Well, I have done the occasional runaway.
Yeah.
Okay? Where can we go? Runaway, right? Do my little, get my feet done, get my massage done, and of course, because I have older ones, the most that they would give me for gifts would be a massage. Oh, mommy, go on,
Right,
so, yes. And then I have some girlfriends, they love to run away with me as well.
Right.
So we do the running away, and you don't have to go. I've learned that you don't have to hop on a plane to run away. With the lots of Airbnbs they have and the spaces that they have, you take a little time and you just go and dip in a pool a little bit, relax and laugh and talk with your friends and that kind of thing. Take the mind off of everything and then come back again, and do what you need to do.
I appreciate that. Well, I appreciate you.
I appreciate it. I'm so proud of you guys. I need to say that I am so proud of her. She is amazing. I am watching her blossom and, I peek, and when it comes up on my timeline and love and everything, because I am so proud of you.
Thank you for being here with me, man. It's been a couple of years and I know you've been praying for me on the side and you've been rooting for me. We might not see each other very often, clearly, right?
Yeah.
But I adore you and thank you for sharing your journey with us. I know that this True Growth audience appreciates you. They value things that you have to say, especially being somebody who went through the overcoming mountains that you had to, and now you're on the other side, helping, supporting, serving, and being creative in the process too. Okay?
Yeah.
So guys, I appreciate you. Thank you, Mel. Right?
You're welcome. Thank
We
you.
do this again, right?
Yes.
Guys, so this brings us to the end of this podcast episode of the series Moms Overcoming Mountains on the True Growth True Growth podcast. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.
And throw them out. Now we're going to shake. We're going to shake. Shake. I feel like an eyelash trying to come out here. No? What's this one? Oh, wait, not yet. Just start. Let me just read over. Okay. All right. Ready?